Oh, I was hoping we might run into one another again. Your timing is most fortuitous. I'm on the verge of something, but I don't quite have all the information I need. You have no idea how much I appreciate that, truly. Of course, now that I understand more about what's going on, it seems plain as day, and yet I never would have imagined it before. The tertiary trunks have also liquefied their interiors, but they're not vibrating. I thought perhaps it was some sort of defect, but it's much simpler. They're listening. I don't, not for sure. It's all a theory, certainly, but it is completely supported by the data and observation, like all good science. It's the best we have to go on right now. It means it is ready to reproduce. I believe this tree is sending vibrations out over massive distances and expecting to detect sympathetic vibrations in return. As of yet, there's been no response. I suspect that will not change, that a response is impossible, and that's very, very bad news. We're continuing to see an increase in the strength and frequency of the vibrations. I don't know how much more significant it'll become. If there's no response, the tree may vibrate itself and some nearby portion of the city to destruction. Now, as of yet, there has been no response, and clearly none of the nearby individuals are a correct match. While it can't be ruled out that the intended recipient of these messages was cut down during the city's expansion, there is one other possibility. Over 100 years ago, the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective emerged from the Narian War. As a gesture of peace and goodwill, a near-literal olive branch, one of the trees from New Atlantis, was offered to the leaders of Aquila City. Nice. Short-sighted and ill-advised, in my opinion. Of course, you can't just uproot a native species and plunk it down on some other planet in a totally different environment and expect it to grow. Clearly, no exobotanists were consulted ahead of time. The end result was wholly predictable. The tree died within a few short years. I'm sorry, I'll get to the point. The tree died, yes, but branches were kept. At least one still exists in the museum there in the city. If I had that branch, I could get DNA samples, and then using various data I've gathered, I could attempt to simulate a response. We could then broadcast that response and hopefully calm down our friend here. But as I say, I need that branch. I knew you would understand. The museum in Aquila City is under the supervision of one Miss Kessler, I'm told. I don't know anything about her, but hopefully she'll be willing to listen to reason and assist our cause. All right, off you go. We don't have any time to waste.
That tree's as big as the rock. Sorry, I plain forgot what I wanted to talk with you about. That girl. If Cora leaves her tools out one more time... I mean, I love her more than life itself, but I can only say the same damn thing so many times. Oh, next time I see her, I'll paste on a smile and ask her ever so nicely to pick them up. Again. I mean, this is between me and you, but Cora wasn't exactly planned. I don't know if I mentioned, but I served a spell in the Freestar Rangers. Had a partner, Lillian Hartz. Man, we were like fire and ice, but, well, it wasn't all bad. She's one of their top rangers, so they keep her in the field a lot. That's how she likes it. Well, it wasn't by choice. It was a lousy fit. Maybe someday I'll get into it. I'm just happy I found Constellation. Best damn organization in the settled systems, you ask me. It wasn't always like it is now. Hell, when Cora was born, I was completely out of my depth. For the first few months, I kept thinking what a colossal mistake I made. Me, a father. But one late night, early morning, whatever, little Cora gave me my first smile. And I knew I'd do anything for that girl. Well, Mrs. Lillian Coe was right there with me. And as bad as I had it with nursing at all hours, I know I had it comparatively easy. But that don't mean those first few months were good by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, sure don't feel like it. You said Cora's great, and I think so too. But I see so much of myself in her. I've done things I'm not proud of. Said things even worse. I try to be better for Cora, but is she gonna fall into the same traps? Well, it's bad enough. Let me put it that way. Maybe. When she's older. I know it seems crazy, towing her across the stars, but I'm not exactly swimming with options here. Her mother, like I said, another story, another time. And what, have her raised by Jacob, my dad? I'd sooner ship her off to Vladimir. No, not really. Lillian and me don't have any siblings. We'd have to start looking into really extended family for other relations. I wouldn't want to anyway. Looking after Cora, that's not something I want to pawn off on someone. You think? Oh, she does say the damnedest things. And if she just learned to pick up after herself, she just might live until she's 13. Keep your sidearm handy. Parts of town can get rough.
Watch it. Shooting coming and going.
Sarah Filburn and her brother-in-law him.
I need to try it out for myself.
Sounds like a bad idea to me.
Oh, are you a friend of Sam Coe? I do so hope you both appreciate the museum. It's about his family, after all. I have artifacts that date all the way back to the time of Solomon Coe himself. Very well. People are proud of their history here, so we get more visitors than I was expecting. So it gets pretty busy here, especially with school field trips. Aquila City was founded over 150 years ago by Solomon Coe, a scientist and explorer from Earth. Along with other settlers, Coe built the structures you see in the part of the city we call the core. Those proud buildings still stand today. The planet was dangerous, so they built a wall around their settlement. Eventually, they ran out of space and started building outside the wall. There were so many buildings that they had to build another, larger wall, forming a second outer ring around the growing city. Of course, the city didn't stop growing, and before long, the third wall, the outer wall you see today, was constructed. Today, Aquila City is the proud capital of the Free Star Collective, and the Council of Governors continues to meet here when they need to. Most people know Solomon Coe as the founder of Aquila City and the father of the Free Star Collective. He was an astrophysicist who lived on Earth in a place called Wyoming. Solomon was born around the time people first started living in space. Later in life, he designed starships, and when Earth was in peril, those ships helped to save humanity by taking them to new homes in the stars. The bravery and heroism it took to save humanity. Whew, goosebumps. During the Great Exodus, Solomon came to this world. He named our star Cheyenne, which was also a place on Earth, and gave Aquila its name too. He and some others built the settlement that would go on to become Aquila City, and his descendants still live here today. There are some things I would kill to have. I mean, wait, not literally. But I would pay a lot for. You see, the Coe family lost a treasure trove of old historic documents ages ago. And those documents would be priceless to have here.
Huh. Those old things.
Well, all of them were owned by our city's founder, Solomon Coe. He's more than that, really. He's one of the greatest heroes of the settled systems. These documents would be, like I said, priceless to the museum and to our guests. Their absence pains me. Jacob Coe and I have talked at length, and his great-grandfather was a troubled man. He sold off various historic documents to cover debts. They could be anywhere.
Troubled is a charitable way of putting it. Great-grandpa was a walking disaster. He almost lost everything, family estate included. Those documents she's talking about, they're real. We even have a few that survived.
Your father donated what was left to the museum.
Jacob did what? I didn't think charity was in his vocabulary.
If you find any of that trove of documents, I will pay dearly for it. Thank you. Think of the future generations that could benefit from seeing such important history. Let me see. Oh dear Lord. It's real. It still exists. This is the original charter for Aquila City. And you can see their signatures. This is really the birth of the Free Star Collective. The core philosophy of limited government and inalienable rights. All here. Thank you. If you find anything else, please come back. That is not something I expected to hear today. I assume you're somehow associated with the United Colonies? I've received some odd messages of late. Several that bordered on being incomprehensible. Honestly, I thought it was some kind of strange prank until now. A bunch of gibberish about dire consequences and frequency modulation and genetic reconstruction. It all came across as rather unhinged.
Hey, I get it, but we have to collectively let go of this feud with the UC. And besides, this is really just about a tree and someone who is really, really attached to it.
Are you defending the UC? I must say, I expected more from a Coe. Well, I'm afraid you've wasted your time because I'm not authorized nor particularly inclined to release any of our pieces. That includes 100-year-old tree branches. Sorry, but it's staying in storage. If you find any more of the Coe family's legacy, please let me know. I hear what you're saying, but I'm afraid it's out of the question. I think we can work something out. I can't believe I'm doing this. Please return it in one piece.
Neon's got nothing on New Atlantis.
I hope Aquila City has what we need. Have you paid a visit to Miss Castler in Aquila City? Yes, of course. I'll see that it is returned to her in one piece. Well, perhaps minus a few shavings. Now, I just need a moment to analyze this and synthesize an audio response to our friend here. Right, so we'll feed in a sample. Now the program will incorporate the genetic and chemical makeup of the sample, extrapolating the size and structure of the original tree. This was put together rather hastily, so complete accuracy is impossible. I'm hoping it's enough. And there it is. Our best hope for a positive solution to this mess. So, we now have a simulated response to our tree. All that's left is to play it. An excellent question. I have been wondering myself. I've been forced to listen to this SSNN kiosk chatter incessantly this entire time. I think it could be put to better use. We don't have time to go through the proper channels, but if you can find a terminal and get this uploaded into their system, it might do the trick. You're right. There's a chance that there could be some minor adverse side effects, but none would be life-threatening. We won't play the broadcast loud or long enough to cause any major or permanent damage to humans or other organic life. And aside from that, if we don't calm this tree down soon, well, I fear that the vibrations it's emitting will eventually reach such strength it could severely damage our internal organs. Then I fear all this hard work will be for naught. I would hate to see this tree come down, but we may be out of options. I have no doubt that you will.
Mark my words. Someday
Have you ever met anyone like that? Just
can't go in. You just can't.
But David's my friend. He writes me.
I hate to break it.
SSNN is supposed to be impartial. I think the UC's got a finger on the scale there. The answer to the question, if your friend jumps off a cliff, would you? No. No, sir, I wouldn't.
If I move back to Neon, I'd miss New Atlantis like crazy.
We've done it! I'm already seeing reductions in the strength of the vibrations. The tree is calming down. I can hardly believe that worked. I don't know. We've been in uncharted territory this whole time. That doesn't stop now. With the immediate crisis hopefully over, I can slow down and review everything we've learned. And certainly, I'll be keeping a much closer eye on our friend going forward. And you have saved this tree and advanced our scientific knowledge of our environment. Noble work across the board. You have my gratitude and that of every citizen in New Atlantis, though they don't know it.
Watch it. Ships coming and going all the time.
Your next stop wouldn't be the Caribbean system, would it? People joke, say those Baroon zealots worship a snake. Let me tell you, it ain't a snake. It's some kind of celestial being. They call it the Great Serpent. Is it real?
I really don't understand why Weston can't rein in his brother a little. How much are we going to lose on this brewing nonsense?
If you're here for Weston, he's underfoot somewhere, either here or at the factory. But please, if it's about that brewing nonsense, kindly leave. They don't need any more encouragement. Dear me, no, Weston's a fine man. If anything, that's why I want more from him. He could do even greater things, if only he could see that. Oh, sorry. My nerves are frayed. So many people coming and going for the company. Weston, that's my husband. Well, he's never been what I'd call a dreamer or a visionary. He's a practical man, good with ledgers and numbers. His brother Henry's the creative one, but he seems to have lost interest in growing the company, and now all he wants to do is brew beer. Filburn Agricultural Systems could provide the whole of the settled systems with food, not just Aquila City. Seems those two are content to think small. That's for sure. Well, you didn't come here to hear me natter on. Anything else? Well, no, not as such. I mean, the business is doing just fine, but it could be doing even better. Those knuckleheads have so much God-given talent, and I just wish they used it better. And try to come between Weston and his brother? They'd never allow it. Oh, I've tried to drop hints and make suggestions, but it all falls on deaf ears. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, of course. The company's healthy, and Weston and I live well enough. I'd like to help, you know? I'd like to be a part of things instead of feeling like I'm playing second fiddle. I suppose I should just accept my lot and try to find peace with it.
Well, there is. The stakes are huge. With further R&D on IntelliWheat, the entire settled systems could benefit. Surely that's worth some less than savory solutions. Right now, it's tailored to Aquila's biomes, allowing wheat to flourish in places it normally couldn't. But if Henry applied himself, who knows where else we could grow IntelliWheat? He may be frustrating, but Henry's the smartest person I've ever met. Just don't tell him that. Exactly. Henry's pet project is tied to market perception. His beer, annoyingly, is really good. But if we could make a bad batch, terrible, really, his margins are tight enough he might be forced to throw in the towel. Henry bores everyone to tears about how crafting beer is so much more art than science. It's delicate. Surely it wouldn't be too hard to mess it up, right? What? Oh God, no. I just want it to taste bad. Like stale, or like it's whatever makes beer taste worse. The next big batch of beer is almost done brewing in our factory. You just need to find a way to break in without getting caught by the guard and tamper with it somehow. Then just wait a day or so and see how the batch goes over at the Stone Root Inn. Do that, and I'll pay you handsomely. That's the last I'll talk of this.
You really gone through with it? I get tired of being ordered around.
I'm gonna be a soccer star.
I've been practicing at the fighting
Ugh, I hate instantly putting on the pounds like this.
You'd be a lot better. Any damage?
Barretts are coming in
I'm
nice.
applying for a job at home. So we're gonna have a house swap?
you liking that laser gun?
Nice suit.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll go. We'll go.
We got a lot of
Just need to
bars in
find
the
a
city,
time.
all class joints.
Neon?
Well, except
They're barely a
Agnes.
part of the Freestar Collective. Kate, hold up! So, Henry's new batch. How'd it go over?
I know you like Henry, but
What? There's something wrong?
Sam said it tasted off. Really off. Gladys said it was fine. Then she dumped her whole glass on the floor when she thought I wasn't looking.
No, no.
I don't think we should carry Henry's stuff anymore. Our regulars have stopped ordering his old stuff too.
I'll break the news to Henry. Welcome to the Stone Root Inn, one of Aquila City's oldest and proudest establishments. What can I do for you? Just let me know if anything looks good to you.
The mayor's all right.
Could I get this
Aquila City's really the heart of the Freestar.
We only use robots for farming. Surely some of that tech we could patent. It's true. My husband runs one of the most successful businesses in the Freestar Collective. But I still think we can do better. Something happened to Henry's beer? That's terrible. So terrible. But I'm sure I know nothing about it. Here's some credits for delivering the news. I expect that's the last I'll be seeing of you.